Okay, well, happy Wednesday morning to everybody. Adrian and I are headed out on the road to go up to Moyers, Oklahoma, and meet up with Neil for some sprint car races. And I'm pulling the new rig, the SherpaX adventure trailer, and water and gas and camping gear and everything. So it's going to be different. I haven't had this thing out on a long road trip yet with the trailer, so this will be its maiden voyage. You ready? We'll just head out to the left and go up our normal route.
Okay.
So we've got about a 387 mile trip, I think, just shy of 400 miles up to Moyers, Oklahoma. It's almost noon now, I guess, or 11 something. We're definitely getting a late start. And we're going to try to get up there. If we don't make it all the way today, then we could always stop off in McKinney, like we usually do, and then continue the rest of the way tomorrow. Apparently there's going to be a bunch of weather for the next couple of days, so we might be getting seriously rained out. We're going to find out how it goes. The front tire on this thing is very squirmy when it's loaded. It feels like the front forks are loose or something. It's a weird sensation.
Stay in this left lane here.
I'm going to need to play with my tire pressures and figure out where a good setting is for pulling this weight. I've got them aired up to the max right now, you know, highest recommended, so I may need to back them down a tiny bit so it doesn't feel floaty and squirmy.
I got a little electric pump too, so make it a little easier to play with.
You do or I do?
Yeah, I do.
Oh. Yeah, this thing rides really well with everything on it. It's just the squirmy tire sensation that's a little odd. This thing has so much suspension travel. It's like almost 9 inches up front and almost the same in the rear, so it just floats over bumps. So how many miles do you have on your Cub now?
3,700 and change.
Okay. I figured you'd be up almost even with mine, but after this trip you certainly will be. I'm at just a tick under 5 on mine right now.
Yeah, just under 3,800.
Gotcha. Yeah, you should be evened up with mine after this trip. So I think we're looking at 1,600 to 1,800 miles. If we go all the way up to Missouri, then it's going to be closer to 2,000. Because that's what we did that last trip with the Super Cubs. Of course, I did all that riding with the group that extra day, you know, that day 5 or 6, whatever it was. So that was about 300 miles or so that day. This guy was stopping behind me to take pictures. He was hanging out on my flank. I couldn't figure out what he was doing, and then as he rolled by, I saw him putting his cell phone down from facing the window. That's cool. Man, I took this thing out around town a few times, just over here in Katy, hauling stuff with it, you know, just taking stuff to UPS and running around. And everywhere I went, people stop and ask questions about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, what is that? Did you build that? Where did you get that? Can I get one?
Yeah, I bet you Neil's had to deal with that for, you know, just questions and
Oh yeah,
stuff forever. That's you don't see that setup every day. You don't see your setup every day.
Yeah, so Neil's already been out on the road for a week, I guess. He was saying he was going and doing it the long way around, whatever.
What are your plans on how many days you're going to be out?
I don't know. It's up to you, man. I was thinking early next week, you know, Monday-ish, Tuesday, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I I was thinking Sunday, Monday, but
yeah, that's fine. I mean, it depends on if we go all the way up to Missouri. That's going to change timing because
Yeah.
we're looking at probably 2 days back, cramming 500-600 miles into one day. It's going to be rough for you. On this one, it's not a cakewalk, but it is a little more capable on the road. It's more suspension and easier to live with. It doesn't beat you up as bad. We're supposed to have a bunch of wind, but it's going to be behind us mostly today. South-southeast at 22 was the forecast. So we're gonna have a tailwind with us for the first time in forever.
help with speed and fuel economy, huh?
Yeah. Seems like every time I go anywhere on a motorcycle trip, I'm fighting the wind going and fighting coming back. It's very rare for it to be at my back. It'll be interesting to see how this thing feels with crosswinds. I took it out on the highway and ran it, commuting for a couple days. And I really didn't notice it back there until I got it really heavy. Once I loaded it up with about 40 or 50 pounds worth of crap, it kind of influences the bike a little bit, especially in crosswinds. It kind of, I don't know, you feel it steering the bike in strange ways. Kind of makes the front end dance around.
Anything like way uncomfortable, or just
No, it's just kind of wishy-washy. I call it a lasagna noodle. Just kind of flappy.
What speed were you going?
Well, this bike has a tendency to head shake above 60, 65, and that's right where I was feeling it. So the bike already has a propensity to kind of head shake a little bit, and the trailer just exaggerates it. I don't know how it's going to do on the Cub. The front wheel does this.
Okay.
It just, and it doesn't get more violent, it just does that.
Okay.
So you just keep riding it and ignore it, Usually if you speed up or slow down a little bit, that goes away. Slowing down usually helps it more than speeding up.
Yeah, that Honda Reflex that I bought, I only kept it for a couple months, but man, you hit 75 and that thing just started vibrating like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I got to thinking it was probably just a tire.
It could have been a tire out of balance or something. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I like these double take mirrors, man. You can see everything in these.
Yeah, those things look good.
I've had them for a while. I just never put them on the bike because I hadn't ridden the bike around. I got another set for the little CT125, and they made a huge difference on that one too. I had them on for that last road trip that we did.
Probably a bit easier to install than these bar end mirrors, huh?
Oh yeah. These things, you just unscrew the factory mirrors, and then it's got threaded adapters that you screw right into those posts, and then there's a 1-inch ram ball that screws into that, and then it's just a double socket arm for a ram ball on here, and then the mirrors themselves have a ball on the other end. So you can position them in infinite ways. They just, you can lean them in, lean them out, whatever you want to do. And the big deal with these is for off-road riding. If you're getting into the woods or the single track stuff where there's a lot of tree branches and that sort of thing, or if you anticipate dropping the bike, then you just fold the mirrors in and lock them down so they're inboard instead of outboard. You're not going to snap them off. Hopefully. Okay, resuming the ride. Adrian and I pulled off the road here because I started having a very nasty tail wag issue around 55 to 60, and it was uncontrollable enough to where I had to slow way down to 35 to get it to quit. It wasn't threatening to toss me off the bike, but if it got any worse, it might have gotten there. So anyway, we're playing with tire pressures here to figure out kind of how this bike is going to handle it, and then I'm sure it's probably going to translate through to the supercub later when we hook these up on there. But we need to figure out maximum safe loads, kind of where the tire pressure needs to be for the rear tire versus the bike, things like that. I had aired up to pretty much rock hard. I had my fronts running at street bike pressures, 32 front and 38 rear, which is way more than the bike is supposed to have. But again, the bike doesn't normally have street tires on it like this. So I don't know. We're gonna check it out. I'm ready when you are.
Okay.
So I've dropped the pressures down now to about 26 in the front because it's hot. You know, it's not a cold pressure. Normally it's supposed to be 22, 25 on this bike. So I've got the... hey, before we pull out, let me check my earplug here. Let's just get on the road and stop, or whatever.
I'm gonna get in the shade over there.
I think I pulled one of my earplugs out by accident. So yeah, we'll run the lower pressures here and see if it feels any better or worse, what the story is. And if it doesn't get better, then I'm going to have to shed some weight out of this rear box.
Doing all right?
Yep. Just hanging back at about 56 to 59, somewhere in that range. Seems like when I get up to 60, it really gets wiggly. I'll get all this weight out of there. As soon as we fill up, I'm going to fill with the stuff that's on the Rotopax, and that'll remove 12 pounds of weight off the side of the container, 10 pounds, whatever. And depending on how well that does, I may end up shipping some of the stuff back home that we're not going to use.
Like I'm going to break 100 miles on this thing.
Cool. Yeah, if you keep the speeds down to 55-ish on the Cub, it does really, really well.
Yeah, I had some city riding in there too.
Yeah, yeah. Down pretty good. Those sting even through the pants. You want to turn here? Okay, you go. I'm going to jump over. Good spotting, sir. Mosquitoes, yeah, great. Okay, I don't know how much battery I've got left in this camera. This is Thursday morning, barely. It's almost noon, so yeah, 11:45. We stayed last night at K River Campground. So Sardis Lake, Oklahoma 2. Very shallow lake. You got tree stumps sitting out there in it. Another interesting issue with my charging system here, or whatever's going on with it. When I left the gas station back there, it was not registering any speed until I got up to like 50 miles an hour. I don't know if that was a charge voltage related thing or if it was a speed related thing, whatever, but it was 0 miles an hour until I was going like 50. It's very weird. So, I guess that's a good thing about you know, pretty much analog bike. You don't need an electrical system except to fire that spark plug, keep the CDI running, that's it. If this were a fuel injected bike and it was having those kind of problems, I'm sure the EFI would not be working. Pros and cons, pros and cons. What sucks is every time I fill up, I have to kill the ignition on the bike to take the fuel cap off. So it's not smart to fuel while you're running anyway, but still. So that means I have to bump start it and roll it. When it's got so much weight on it like this, with the trailer behind it, that's an extra 80, 90 pounds, whatever that is, total back there, because I've got a lot of crap in that. It's not as easy as just pushing and running with it and jumping on the bike, because there's that extra inertia. So jumping over it is a little tricky. So what I figured out is just turn the ignition on, click it up to third gear and run with it, you know, with the clutch pulled in. Just run next to the bike as fast as I can and pop the clutch a couple of times. You know, sometimes the rear tire just slides on the first attempt, but that'll generally fire the motor up enough to where it's running, and you know, just re-clutch it before it takes off without you. It works. It'll suck if it dies on me in traffic, but I'm not planning on shutting it down until I get up here to this power sports store in Muskogee. So I'll shut it down and then pull my side cover off and swap the battery and go through my connections, make sure I don't have something weird happening, something shorted out or whatever. I would think if I had a short, it would just pop a fuse and then I wouldn't have anything. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, this is the road for another hour, hour and a half. There's my speedometer doing its weird stuff again. We stopped back there on the side of the road for a second to regroup. It says I'm going 16, no, I'm going 54. Low voltage, I don't know what it is that's causing it to flip out. Engine's running okay, the gauges aren't happy. But I'm saving miles that way, right? It's catching up now, 50, 52, yeah, 51. So it's like a voltage issue, which points to rectifier or stator. Which would cause the battery to fail, so we'll find out. I'll put a fresh battery in it. It'll behave itself for a little while. If the battery starts going flat again, then we know for sure it's rectifier or stator. Okay, we're just now arriving in Muskogee, Oklahoma. The GPS says we're about 1 mile away from the turn, and must be right after the turn because it's saying my ETA is in 2 minutes. So, getting here in front of Adrian and I. Letting those guys set the pace because they've got slower bikes than I do. I don't want to accidentally leave them behind. So, Peak Boulevard. We're supposed to be going to 600 Peak Boulevard. Is this power sports store? Okay, 0.2. So that must be it right there. Red roofed building, red faced. Looks like that might be a power sports store. So it's 400 feet. Yep, it's on the right. That's the one. So they do everything here. Sea-Doo, Yamaha. Oh, hey, that's slippery. Front wheel pushed on that sand. Okay, so I guess we just park over here. We're hitting the road again after our half-a-day hiatus because of my battery issue. We just stopped and ate at a really nice Mexican restaurant here in Muskogee, and we don't have enough time or road left to get up to where we were kind of thinking of going tonight, up near Table Rock Lake or something. So we're just gonna go here to a hardware store and get a little washer, fastener, so Adrian can resecure his broken mount on his windscreen. And then we found another campground that we're going to go check out. It's about 15 miles, 20 miles from here, so we'll stay there tonight and then work our way further north tomorrow. We're about 300 miles away from Odessa, so if we can get ourselves up there tomorrow through the day, strike camp. It's probably going to be a little wet up there Friday until later in the day was what the forecast was showing. And then Saturday is supposed to be nice, so hopefully they'll be running the races if the track dries out enough. And we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. Get out of there maybe Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, I don't know, we'll figure it out. So I have no idea how much battery is left in this camera. I'm probably not going to record too much here. I'll try to record a bit when I get set up at our campsite for tonight, if it's not too dark. It's about almost 7 o'clock right now, so we got about an hour of daylight left. So, figure out where we're going here. Adrian's leading us over to the hardware store. I have no idea what we're up to. I'm just following the leader. Okay, so we are gonna camp here near the dam. There's a campsite somewhere down in here. Pretty cool looking dam. But who's engine braking? Ah, it's a big dam. That's a damn big dam. Fort Gibson, I think, is what they said this was. Fort Gibson Dam or Lake, I don't know. So this doesn't look like camping area. Maybe further back. Could be on the other side. Oh no, that goes further back. Good. Well, they got bathhouses here, or bathrooms anyway. Chances are they're locked up after dark. So we're going to look for a place that has trees. All Adrian has is a hammock, so it's hammock camping for him. I tried hanging mine as a hammock last night and I could not figure it out. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but it just didn't work. It's supposed to be convertible from tent to hammock, and every time I was lifting it up it was just turtling and flipping over. Didn't have the lines on the bottom rigged right or something. Gotta find some good strong trees, not some of these dead ones. Is this it? Just this loop? Much of a camping area. Okay, they got water. That's good. If you can find trees there that are good for him. Probably over here, Adrian. We're looking for trees that are about 15 to 20 feet apart. That looks like it's marshy, but no, that's a bit of a long stretch there. That's about 25 feet. That's a little too far. So I can't dawdle too long. I need something that has trees for him. That's already occupied. I don't know if there's, I'm just looking for something that's about 15 to 20 feet apart for you. I don't know about over there. On the outside over there, there's plenty of trees, but in this middle section, they're pretty spaced apart. Those might work, but that's a big tree. I have straps, extra straps that you could use. Whoa, 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 watch out. I have extra straps that would work. I think he's going to choose that. I've got some super long straps that we could daisy chain to get around that fat bitch. This has trees. Those are a little too close. Finding the right spacing is always the tricky bit. Those are way too far apart. Those are too far. Those are too far. Those are too far. So we're going back around. There were some up along that front area there. I just don't know if that's camping or not. I'm going to go the wrong way up a one-way here. Now back there, there's lots of trees, but that's really in the rough over there. Kind of interesting to see them open these spillways while we're here. Right down here, close to them. Yeah, that's all scrub. There's stuff there that could be suitable, but be hanging above weeds. Potentially snakes. Anywhere there's water and trees and overgrowth like this, you're going to have snakes. Well, I think they've decided, so I'm going to quit looking. But there was another spot over there that had 3 trees that looked like they were spaced about right. This one's not too bad, but they are pretty far. There's 2 of them that might work there. Now, close. Okay, well, definitely running this battery down, so I'm going to shut this down and then film the setup, I guess. There's 2 or 3 others over there, but I don't know if that's a camping spot. You could sleep right there overlooking the water.
What's that?
I was saying there's 3 trees right there that look about right. I just don't know if that's a camping spot.
Oh shit, I can remove them.
These would work right here.
Yeah,
I've got a super long strap for that.
Those 3 are in line, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it would be awesome sleeping right next to the river. I haven't done that in a long ass time. Yeah, they've got a little parking pad here. I don't know if these people are camping or if they're just day tripping. This would be a little rough for tents, but that's a big stinking tree, but I've got straps. Got some dead branches though. That's a no-go. Yeah, that's a no-go. This is gonna have to be it.
hello. How y'all doing?
And these 2 aren't quite far enough apart.
Yeah, there you go.
You could probably make that a close hang. It might work. Yeah, that's barely 14 feet. It's about 12. So they're a little close. Yeah, I say we just do this because there's grass here for our tents, and you've got this the set of trees. We'll make it work. I got a big ass strap that'll go around that. That is a huge tree. Wow. Yeah, there's no dead big branches up there, so that's good. All right,